Hi, my name is Zanya Francis, and I'm doing a mock IEP meeting as a student graduate for Grand Canyon University. For the sake of confidentiality, I will not be mentioning the student's real name. Let's begin. So in the beginning of my meeting, I introduce all the participants and I have them sign their name, their signature. So today we have speech therapist, Miss Leslie, regular education teacher, Miss Cooper, special education teacher, myself, Miss Francis, and the parent, Mr. Banks. The student does not have to participate in this IEP meeting, therefore the student is not here. So, Jay is a 5-year-old with exceptionality of developmental delay. She attends kindergarten at Emily C. Watkins Elementary School, and this is her annual IEP meeting. Relative strengths includes auditory comprehensive skills, oral motor functioning, fluency of speech, receptive language, articulation, general health, and a supportive family. Parental concerns is Jay's speech and behavior. Her evaluation results reveal a mild deficit in developmental, pre-academic skills, and a mild expressive language deficit. A multi-sensory approach to language therapy is recommended. Support needs include developmental pre-academic functioning, expressive language skills, and functional communication skills, and behavior that started at school. Due to her age, JB does not participate in statewide assessments. JB has been receiving special education services since May of 2017. She was administered the FastBridge assessment and attained a MAT index score of 39, which falls in the some risk percentile. She obtained an ELA index score of 46, which falls in the some risk percentile. She received satisfactory on her first and second 9 weeks report card in both ELA and MAT. Progress in speech language pathology services has been continuous. JB will engage in self-harm by slapping, punching, hitting head on table, floor, or wall, pull her hair, or cry when she doesn't get her way, or is told no, or may be excluded from an activity for whatever reason. She is not an English learner. She does not need communication needs. She doesn't use the instruction of use of Braille. Assistive technology is not needed at this time, and there are no health, vision, or hearing concerns at this time. So now we're going to get into the instructional plan. But before I do that, Mom and Dad, do y'all have any questions? Okay, so no questions. We're going to get into the instructional plan. So she have 4 goals. She have a MAT goal, ELA goal, a social goal, and a communication goal. So we're going to start off with MAT. So for MAT, her present level is she developed early numeracy at a kindergarten level. She has demonstrated functional skills such as orally count to 50, recognize written numerals up to 35, compare and add objects within 10 using counting strategies, and number sequencing, numerals up to 31. She is currently at risk for decomposing numerals as measured by the Winter FastBridge assessment. So since she's at some risk for decomposing, I developed a goal for her for next year for decomposing. So that goal for next year, she's going to work on decomposing. When given 4 addition and subtraction problems with numbers less than or equal to 20, JB will correctly decompose each problem by writing 2 pairs of numbers whose sum equals that number. For example, 5 equals 3 plus 2 and 5 equals 1 plus 4. Scoring 80% accuracy for 10 written responses by the end of the IEP year. People responsible for implementing this goal will be the regular education teacher, the special education teacher, student, and parent. Are there any questions regarding JB's math goal? Okay, so she having a year to work on this particular goal. So now we're going to get into her social goal, which is for her behavior. And that goal states, well, first we're going to get into her present level. Presently, she will engage in self-harm by slapping, punching, hitting head on the table, floor, or wall. Pull her hair and cry when she doesn't get her way. Is told no or may be excluded from an activity for whatever reason. So being that we are experiencing some of those social behavior issues with JB, her goal is going to be given social stories, self-calming strategy, example like deep breaths. JB will calm herself down with 2 to 5 minutes and use one positive self-expression strategy. Example could be drawings or eye messages, and refrain from an emotional outburst, example, hitting her head or crying, for 18 consecutive days before the end of the IEP year. So she has a year to work on that goal as well. Any questions regarding her social behavior goal? Okay. Also, the people responsible for implementing that goal will be the regular education teacher, the special education teacher, the parent, and the student. The next goal is her communication language goal. And her present levels for that goal is she is able to communicate in complete sentences using some descriptive words, example, nice and pretty. She continues to have difficulty describing events or answering who, what, and where questions. So her goal is going to focus on answering who, what, and where questions or retelling a story. So the goal is using interactive stories and language activities with visual supports. JB will retell story events and answer comprehensive questions with 80% accuracy for 3 targeted sessions by the end of the annual IEP year. The people responsible for implementing this goal will be the speech therapist, the parent, and the student. Are there any questions on JB's communication goal? Okay. And the last goal will be her ELA goal. And her present levels for ELA, JB understands concepts of print at a kindergarten level. She has demonstrated skills such as orientating a book, tracking, following print, and recognizing the difference between letters and words. JB can perform letter sound identification. She can correctly say the names and produce the correct sounds of all 52 uppercase and lowercase letters. She is currently at some risk for word segmenting as measured by her Fast Bridge assessments. So being that she's at some risk for word segmenting, her goal for next year will be to work on word segmenting. So when given a list of 10 consonant, vowel consonant, which is our CVC words, JB will segment the sounds correctly with 80% accuracy and 4 out of 5 trials by the end of the IEP year. The people responsible for implementing this goal will be the regular education teacher, the special education teacher, the student, and the parent. Are there any questions regarding JB's goals for next year? Okay, so moving right along, we're going to get into her accommodations. So the following accommodations was recommended for JB. She's going to get modified, repeat, and model directions. That's going to be in the classroom instructional as well as testing. So she's going to have those accommodations when she's doing instruction in the classroom, and also when she's getting any type of testing, whereas it could be a state testing or just a local test in the classroom, a local weekly testing. She's also going to get specified seating, and that's going to help her with her behavior goals, as well as sometimes she doesn't work well with her peers. So she's going to have a specified seating. And at this time, these are all of the accommodations that the IEP team recommended for JB. At any time, if we see where she need accommodations added, we can always come in and modify the IEP and add those accommodations. Any questions? Okay. So next, we're going to get into our program services. So like I said earlier, she doesn't take any state testing because of her age. She's not eligible for Act 833, and she's going to take all of her regular classes with non-disabled peers. She's also going to participate in all activities with non-disabled peers. All extracurricular activities, buses, field trips, recess, all of that is going to be with her non-disabled peers. She's going to receive 360 minutes for 5 days. So she's going to have a special education instruction for 1 year, 5 days for 40 minutes for 5 days a week in a regular class setting. She's not going to receive any pullout. All of her minutes is going to be in a regular education classroom with her peers. And she's going to receive speech 2 times a week for 30 minutes. And she's going to actually get pulled out of her regular education class into the speech classroom for her speech sessions. Excuse me. Okay, so we're going to talk about extended school year services. That's ESYS. So that service is like a summer school for special education students. And the IEP team get together and we look at data to see if a student qualifies for ESYS. And JB doesn't qualify for ESYS because she's not in critical danger of losing any of the material that she learned. So if she was at any critical danger of losing the material that she learned this school year, then she would, over the summer, she would be a candidate for ESYS. So she doesn't qualify for ESYS because she is not in critical danger of losing the skills that she learned over the summer break. Any questions about ESYS? Because I know sometimes that could get confusing for parents. Okay. All right, so that's our program services. Okay, so next we're going to talk about the least restricted environment. And I kind of spoke on that. She received all of her instructions, so not most of it. All of her instructions is within a regular education classroom. She's going to receive a progress report every 9 weeks in addition to her report card. Okay, any questions? So, with this IEP, if you disagree with anything that I've said, you can always dispute it. You can always dispute it. If you have any questions or concerns, we could talk about it now. This IEP is going to last her for 1 year unless there's something that we have to modify. We can always modify this IEP, whether it's something that the IEP team see that JB needs, or if you, the parent, see that she needs any modifications to this IEP. The other thing is, earlier I gave you your rights booklet. That is for you to keep. And now also I gave you a written notice to let you know about this IEP meeting and the seclusion restraint form. The booklet is for you to keep. I only need that back page with your signature. And let's see, I think that's it, unless you have any questions for me. All right, being that there is none, thank you for coming. I'll make sure you get a copy of all of these forms, and everything that I discussed here on today, you will have a copy of it. Thank you.